Welcome to Completely Cocky. This is your host, Darius Rush and Josh Van. A quick snippet of why we're starting a podcast is to just give our fan base an inside scoop of our lives as athletes on the field and outside the field, and to give you a little snippet of what we do on a daily basis throughout the season. Just a rundown of the week, such as game prep, what we do to get ready for ourselves, and a little bit of outside, such as our personal lives, like what we do in our spare time, playing video games, going out, enjoying nature, just things like that. So, what you guys can expect from us is great quality content of the inside of South Carolina football
And funny content.
and funny content. Well, my name is Darius Rush. I am from Kingstree, South Carolina. I am alumni of C. Murray High School, located in Greeleyville, South Carolina. Uh, Winsburg County is a small county near Charleston, the Moncks Corner area. Uh, that's where I basically grew up my whole life, in a small rural town. Uh, Went to one of the lowest classifications in South Carolina, which was 1A. And I'll say I ended up at South Carolina because it was more of a legacy kind of deal. So my brother and my mom also came to South Carolina. This is where I basically grew up. My brother would sometimes get me on the weekends and bring me up here just to hang out with him while he was in college. I went to some of the practices during the Steve Spurrier area and would go to the practices and just hang out with him, with some of his friends. We even watched the 2010s like national championship together when our baseball team won. So I've been around South Carolina and around this campus for so long. This is really all I knew, and this was like one of my dream schools to come to. So I'll say that's my reason for coming to South Carolina. Um, and I'll say my career here it's been a roller coaster, honestly. I came in as a wide receiver in 2018, moved in January. Started off pretty rocky with had surgery my first year, so I redshirted and I switched positions going into the 2019 season with like it was like 2 days left of camp. Switched to the DB position, and since then I've been a DB trying to get into that role, learn the fundamentals of that role as well. So for me, it was a little rocky transition, but it'll eventually work itself out. So going into the 2019 season, I was playing a little bit of special teams here and there. Going into that COVID year, 2020, is where I played primarily all four phases of special teams. Uh, that was big for me because I also had a labrum surgery, and that's when this new staff came in. So when the new staff came in, I'm just fresh out of surgery. I haven't got no reps during the spring, so I'm really going into fall camp blind of what the coaches know about me. But it works out. 2021 season, it works out. Started 12 games out of 13, and now just coming back to this year is I'm fortunate enough to get the starting spot again, which is a blessing. So I'll say my career here it's been a roller coaster, but it's also been a successful one because all I ever wanted was an opportunity, and that's what I got. And so stepping away from football, me outside of football, I'm a pretty low key guy. I'm part of a fraternity, Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. One of my favorite things I like to do is play the video games for sure. I'm a PlayStation guy. I do like going on walks here and there, going down to the river just to clear my head sometime. So I'm a nature guy as well. So that's me on the outside of football. Just very relaxed, low key, and just a chill guy.
Yeah, I can agree with everything he said right now. Very chill. Well, what's up, y'all? I'm Josh Van. Many people may know me, many people may not, but that's cool. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, from the city. It's a lot of people that may say they're from Atlanta, but some of them might not be from the city. So hey, that's up to debate with whoever you're around that say they're from Atlanta. Uh, you know, um, I went to Tucker High School, alumni of Tucker High School, though. My mom sent me there just because she wanted to get me out of the area that I grew up in. It was very rough, but she found a way to make it work. That we went to school where I was set by good examples and had a clean headspace that people was telling me the right things instead of the negative things. So that's where I'm from. Um, Believe it or not, I knew nothing about South Carolina growing up. So since I'm from Georgia, all I knew was Georgia football. And I love watching Oregon just because their uniforms are pretty cool. So I watched them like every Saturday. So I was a big Georgia fan, and like I said, I never really knew anything about South Carolina until I started getting recruited. But at the end of the day, just coming up here every time, I just felt like I was just at home. So, every time my parents came up here, they just felt welcome. We all felt welcome, felt like we was on vacation, man. It was like one of the greatest times being recruited out of high school, coming up here, one getting away from home. But just coming up here and just relaxing, chilling with all the people, just felt really welcome. So that is how I ended up here. That is why I chose to come here. Um, I would say, it's not unfortunate. It's more so of a blessing and understanding that my career here, just like Darius, has been a roller coaster. Also, um, you know, I got to play a little bit my freshman year. I was behind some dudes. I will say that at that receiver position. Devo Samuel, Brian Edwards, Shot Smith, all three in the NFL. So I just coming out of high school, really thinking I was gonna get my shot to play a lot, but had to ride the bench for a very long time. But I got some out of it. And I played my freshman year, scored a touchdown, very excited. But still felt like, I could be more. Um Sophomore year, battled some hamstring injuries, and I think that's when I broke my hand. So really didn't finish that sophomore season off the way I wanted to. Um Junior year, you know, high expectations for myself going through that camp, spring ball and camp, but unfortunately, had to sit the bench again most of the way. Finally got my chance last year, after the COVID year. So we was all guaranteed an extra year, um, because of COVID. So, finally, put in the work, put in all the hard work, when the cameras wasn't rolling, when nobody was looking at me. So, came out there and really just gave it all I got because I knew that it was like my last go round, my senior year. And I would say like the film and not just trying to be cocky, even though that's the name of the show. But just not trying to be cocky, but the film speak for itself, and it's just a complete blessing just to be able to have the opportunity to go out there and show what I can do to the world. And thankfully we all got that extra year COVID year, which is why I chose it, came back just so I can just stack on top of that. So my career here, as I would say, has been a roller coaster plus a blessing to just like Darius, be able to get the opportunity to just come out and show the world what I'm capable of, what we are capable of. And if everybody knows me, um the type of guy I am outside of football, I'm a dad of I have an 8-month-old daughter. She'll be 9 months old this September on the 7th. So, I really don't do much. I try to stay out the way, not trying to get in trouble. So people can have a bad rep about me. I really just do my dad duties when I leave the building. As soon as I wake up in the morning, changing diapers, come here, play football, go to class, and as soon as I get back home, I'm back to changing diapers and making baby bottles. So that's pretty much all I do.
All right. well, you mentioned football. Let's hop back into football. So, so what was your process during fall camp? Like waking up to go into bed. Like, what was your process? Because I had a process and I did not stick to it. I'll be honest. I did not stick to it. I did it for like 3 days, and yeah, I was completely off my routine. So, what was yours?
Shoot,
Like, what
I
was
ain't
yours
gonna
like?
count. I would say my process was really just trying to at least one get my child in bed early enough, just so I can have some time to myself. And sometimes that was like 30 minutes to an hour. Really just making sure that she was all right going to bed right at like around 8:30, 7:30, so that'll give me enough time about 8 o'clock to 9:30. So I live with my girl, so she'll probably be ready to go to bed about 10 o'clock, 11, like 10:30. So some nights, them nights where you just really can't go to sleep.
What?
So it'll be them nights where like she'll go to sleep, go to bed, and I'll just be up like all night. Like I think it was one night during camp, like I didn't go to sleep until like 3 o'clock in the morning, and we had to wake up. Had to be in the
Oh,
building at like we had to be in the building like at like 7. So it was bro like just like you, I didn't stick to no script.
no.
Really just, going to sleep, set my alarm clock at 6 o'clock in the morning, waking up on time just so I can get everything done um at home wise. And then just coming here, handling my business here and, going out there and competing on the prize field, just, working on that 1% every day to get better. So that was my day, my life day every day during camp. It varied from time and tiredness, getting ready to run my head through the wall because of the kid. Like it's been it's been a lot during camp, but hey, it builds some character out of you. I tell you that much.
Man, what?
What about you, my guy?
All right, man. I went into camp. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna be very productive. Man, I'm gonna be like a pro. I'm gonna be a pro. So, all right, say for instance, I'm gonna give you an example. Say we had to be in the building at like 6 o'clock. I'll wake up like 45 minutes before we gotta be up, and I'll come in the building and I'll go like do some prep stuff real quick. So I came in, do the prep stuff with Chip, all that stuff. I did that for like 3 days, and I said, "Yeah, I need my sleep." So I, I'm waking up like 15 minutes before we gotta be in the building because I live across the street. So I'm waking up 15 minutes before I gotta be in the building. So I'm probably getting here on my scooter with like 5 minutes. So I'm scooting over as fast as I can. But nah, for the most part, other than that, the hardest part was like eating breakfast in the morning that early. Uh,
Oh yeah,
I could not eat
definitely
breakfast that
that.
early. But other than that, man, I usually went home after the day was over. I always said I was gonna like do some stretching and stuff, like before I go to bed. Nah, I didn't. I just jumped straight into bed after I took a shower, bro. I was just tired, bro. I was just ready to go to sleep. I'm like, all right, cool. So on my sleep app, I got all right. Let's be in the bed about like 10:50, 11:15. Dog, I don't get into bed till about 11:40. I'm still up. So I can't go to sleep without like something on in the background. So I got my TV on, so I'm watching TV. I'm thinking, dang man, I ain't sleep yet. By the time I look, it's already like 1 o'clock in the morning. So I gotta
Mm.
force myself to sleep. But for the most part, it was like one night that I just couldn't go to sleep. It was like how you was there at 3 o'clock. I was up to like near 3 o'clock as well, just watching TV because I couldn't go to sleep. So that was me. But for the most part, I mean, getting up wasn't that bad. It was just like the days after that, like the meetings, man. Gotta fight sleep in the meetings. That's probably the hardest part. But I mean,
Okay.
it's a part of the process to be get where you want to go is those meetings. So I mean, it's all good. So that was really my waking up and then going to bed, and Camp, man, camp is a grind, man. It could be mentally draining at some points, but it's gonna pay off in the end to where like our goals and where we want to get to. So like camp, we done been through four of them, so 4 or 5 of them. So it's nothing new.
Can't even count at this point.
Yeah, yeah. Man, hey, you're gonna lose track of the days. Man, hey man, it's Tuesday in it, dog. It's Thursday. That's how mentally draining it was. But it's all good. Like I said, it's all good. It's just a part of the process to get us prepared for this season. Because I mean, the season also is a mental thing as well. It's got its ups and downs. So it's all good.
Definitely, definitely. I ain't gonna count, but eating breakfast that early too, man. That junk, boy.
Dog, I couldn't, bro.
You really just sometimes be having to force your body
Bro.
to eat breakfast at like I don't even know what time we had to be in that
like,
building. We had
bro,
to
was
be in
eating
that building
breakfast at like
early.
if we in the building at
We
6:30,
eat breakfast at like 6:50,
yeah, man, you gotta eat,
6:40 in the morning. Like, it's still dark outside. You eating breakfast, like, bro?
man. So,
I get it's the most important meal of the day.
bro,
But
I struggle, man. We need to
really,
start having cereal out there. I could probably eat some cereal. I mean, trying to eat a whole croissant, bro. I'm struggling. Like, I can't even eat it. I gotta wait.
French toast.
No grits, eggs, and sausage that early, man. I mean, good food. I'm not complaining about it. It was just hard, just trying to wake my body up to do it.
Oh yeah, just give me some Captain Crunch and some milk.
Bro,
I'll be
I gotta
alright.
get some cinnamon toast crunch. Either cinnamon toast crunch or some apple jacks with sugar. That's what I gotta do.
I want some Cocoa Puffs. Nah,
I'm
them
not a
Reese's Puffs.
chocolatey person,
Them
bro.
Reese's Puffs be going crazy.
Bro, I can't eat straight chocolate like that, bro.
Peanut butter chocolate flavor. Reese's Puff.
Whatever. All right.
Make sure you put that in.
Oh,
That was
now you
for the
about to have
fun.
that song in my head. Appreciate it. Oh,
Well, shoot, since we talking about meetings, shoot, Darius gonna give us a little intake on that DB room.
all right, man. So the DB room is, I'll say we're for the most part. I mean, you got your older guys in there, but we brought in a bunch of young guys who's making a pretty quick impact. Um, some of my guys that I've known before they even got to USC. Nick from Irmo, like we used to train. We got the same trainer, and then we got Keenan, one of my guys who came in. I was like his host during his like official visits and stuff. Then you got Emery, you got Rose. I mean, you got a bunch of guys that's coming in to compete too. So I'll say our DB room is it's fairly the same. We haven't lost much other than Carlins and Foster. So we basically have the same secondary. Uh, and that goes for the D line as well. I mean, the D line still got Zach here, Alex, MJ. Man, those. So the D line, man, is still stacked. We still got DNs other than JJ and who else? Aaron. Those guys left,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, we got Birch and Jordan, who definitely gonna step up in those shoes. And we got Brad Sherrod coming off his injury from last year, and then Mo Kaba. I'll say those three right there, man. Those I'm glad for those guys to be on my side of the ball, because I mean those guys push me. I'll say a lot too, just from the way they play, and like Zach as well. Just so being around those guys has been is truly a blessing to have guys like that. Um, and going back to the DB room with RJ, Cam, Marcellus, David. I mean, you got the same group coming back from last year. We're trying to really up our game for the most part. So we're trying to improve. So that's what our young guys are doing as well. So it's maybe it might be a possibility we might have some young guys playing this year, true freshmen. So that's the mentality we got as a DB room is let's what how can we get better? What can we do to get better? What's going to make us better? Is it extra film study? Is it going out on the field? We're always trying to find a way to get better as a collective because our coach always tells us if the D line messes up, the linebackers got them. The linebackers mess up, we behind the linebackers. If we mess up, there's nobody behind us. And other than our mistakes going to show on the scoreboard. So we really try to emphasize what can we do to get better? How can we improve as a collective group? So that goes back to what you said about that 1%. Every day we go in with a mentality 1% better. What can we do? So I'll say it's been a very good fall camp for all of us, especially getting ready for the season. Um, Everybody's healthy, just trying to get in. Like I said, just see what freshmen can probably step up to help in some backup spots, or maybe even some starting spots. Uh, so that's how the DB room is looking right now. So that's it. You feel me? Well, like, tell me about the wide receiver room though. What y'all got going on over there? What's the offense looking like?
Shoot, everybody want to talk about the receiver room all of a sudden. So hey, that's a good thing and it's a bad thing, I guess. I will tell you, last year it was nobody wanted to know about what that receiver
Not
room
at
was
all.
going to do. But you know, starting out with the receivers, like I would say we're pretty stacked this year. We got a lot of guys that can do some damage with the ball, um, that can run some good routes, and be able to get open and go make contested catches and stuff like that. So some guys like DK Joyner, he had a pretty good season last year, finishing off with that Duke's Mayo Bowl MVP. Um, so got Jalen Brooks back on the team. Xavier Leggett, two transfers, or really just one, but we had last year transfer AB. We call him AB, Amarian Brown from Georgia Tech. He's been really good this whole camp, this whole spring. And we brought in Juice Wells. Actually two transfers this year. Juice Wells from James Madison. He's been really good this whole camp. And we brought in Corey Rucker from Mississippi State. No, Arkansas State, excuse me. From Arkansas State. And he's shown plenty of flashes of what he can do. Um, but receiver room, just like he's saying with the DBs, man, we just always competing in that room, because it's pretty much a next man up mentality up in there. Everybody wants the ball. It's the offense, of course. Like it's only one ball to get passed around, and everybody wants it. So it's pretty much we all competing with each other and going back to that 1%. Just really just getting better collectively as a room that can better the offense. Quarterbacks have been looking really good. Of course, Spencer Rattler came from Oklahoma, which is where this first podcast started out. So everybody pretty much know him. But he's been looking really good, dialed in, learning new offense, learning the schemes, where ball placements has to go, where the check downs, where the first read of the routes, maybe where the ball needs to go. Um, Luke Doty, Colton, um, all those guys been looking really good out there during camp. So it's really, just making sure we all on the same page. It starts at the quarterback position, making sure that the whole offense is, together as one unit, um, leading us all down the stretch and everything. Obviously, we all know about that big old line room, man. We got the whole front five back. A lot of vets in there in that room that's continually to bring them young guys up in that room, just so you just never know what can happen. We play a dangerous sport, especially in that old line room, man. Them guys, they probably go through the worst on a day in day out basis. So it's a lot of vets in there, a lot of new guys up in there, a lot of young guys, but they're just continually to come along every day in, day out, day in, day out. Everybody's, working to get better. Um, but that old line room, they gonna lead the charge for us. Always gotta rely on them big boys. The running back room has been really good. Marshawn, Juju, um, Rashad Amos. We brought in Christian Bill Smith from Wake Forest, and we call him Turbo. He's from Columbia College in what is it, New
New
York?
York.
I think he's
Yeah, I
from New
think New
York.
York.
I think he's from New York, Columbia College, New York. He's been really good for us this whole camp. Really, all the running backs, they're pretty. We pretty much have the same running backs. From last year, obviously, we lost Kevin Harris last year. But it's a next man up mentality, and they all been showing that they they too will be. I would say that next Kevin Harris, that next backup that can do a lot of damage for us in that tight end room. Obviously we brought Big Austin Stogner from Oklahoma. That was a steal for us. Hopefully he goes through the season healthy. He's been healthy. I'm not saying that he's not healthy, but he had a really good camp. Um, Coming in with Spence, just learning. Obviously, they both had that connection from Oklahoma, but both of them coming in from Oklahoma into a new offensive scheme, learning the playbook day in and day out, and then just going out there and competing. Austin has been really good. That's a big joke, by the way, but I think that
What?
dude like 6'8". I don't know. He's big. I ain't okay.
Oh,
That's a
they
big
got
boy.
me, bro. Like I'm really out there trying to set the edge on this guy, and it's like he's just jerking me around. I'm like trying my best, bro. Austin,
Austin is big,
he's a
man.
big
Austin,
dude, bro.
Austin is like the thing, like one of the twin towers when I stand up next to him. Man, dude's too damn big. Wish I had his height, but hey, it's all right though. But like I said, Austin's been really good. We have Jaheim Bell. Um, you know, Hopefully he can have a really good season this year. For himself and for the team. He's had a really good camp this year. Um, we got Travion King, Jesse Sanders. We lost Nick Muse last year. He was a pretty good tight end for us. But for the most part, it's been a next man up mentality. Everybody pretty much is going out there and competing. Like I said, day in and day out. Because the way the offense is now, like I said, there's only one ball to be passed around. Everybody want it, so it's pretty much what are you gonna do to separate yourself from the other guy behind you and next to you. What can you show the coaches? How much valuable you are to the offense as more as the guy next to you. So, you know, collectively as a whole, the offense is looking really good. It's a lot of weapons on that offense, man. So, really, just everybody being on the same page and going out there and showing Saturday by Saturday what we can do.
All right. So I mean, speaking of Saturday, I mean, of course we're only a couple days away from first game against Georgia State. Would you how would you say like as an offense, as a person, like as a player, as a position group, like how do you prep for a game? Like going into week one, like how are you prepping for this game?
Well, I would say, as a receiver group, it's really just, studying what those DBs do for the opposing team. Really just, trying to figure out all their weaknesses. Um, Weaknesses and strengths that they have that we can just feed off of and take advantage of. Um, but for the most part, it's just it's really just making sure myself I'm studying my opponent. Whether that's for 10 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. I'll be lucky to get an hour. Because obviously I do my studying away from here. So with the baby and everything, you really got to find that time to try to do all that. But for the most part, it's really just studying my opponent so I can go out there and play fast. Um, but for the most part, as an offense, we really just got started on them today, but it really wasn't as much. So it's really, I really can't give any takeaways. I would say yet. for Georgia State. I know they play hard. They play hard and they play fast. So you can't take teams like that lightly. Even if they're not in this conference, um, them being able to have the chance to play an SEC team, they're gonna come out with all their effort and they're gonna play fast and catch you slacking.
Yeah, definitely.
What about that offense, man?
I mean,
How do you prep? How do you prep? I would say.
I'll say Georgia State, them as a team, man. Man, it don't matter what conference you in. I mean, you got dogs everywhere. I'll say, for instance, man, we watched the film. I mean, they're a pretty aggressive team. They are they're explosive, man. They're like you said, I play SEC opponent. Best believe you're gonna get everything. And I mean, not even to take away them playing in an SEC team, but even in their conference play, they're going out there and they're playing very physical and they're playing hard as well. So I'll say us as a person, um, I'm starting to get my football IQ up a little bit more. So that goes into the part of studying your opponent a lot more. Uh, with the great hire of Coach Gray, I mean he can break down film, and it's just up to us to study it and learn it. He's always gonna give us the breakdown and the tendencies and things like that. So it's always up to us to really take the notes down and translate that from the meetings to the practice field, going back to the meetings, watching the film. So I say that's one way we break things down. And Coach Gray, he's great at what he does. So with him breaking down their tendencies, it helps us play a little bit faster. We can identify certain things that they do, and we can kind of pick up on what might be next, what route might be coming, things like that. So it allows us to play a little bit faster. So that's one way that we prep. Us as a defense, I mean, it doesn't matter what team you're playing. I mean, you got to have the mentality of you got to go dominate. It doesn't matter what team. And Georgia State being the team that they are, that's not a team you can honestly take lightly either. They're a great team, so we're gonna take them on like any other team. So I'll say that's the takeaways for me with Georgia State. Man, they're a great team, physical team, um, and you got some dudes on there I can say that love football. Uh, and man, they got big receiving cores, bro. I think their biggest receiver is like 6'4". I think that's number 8, and then they got 2 6'3" guys, number 11 and number 13. So I would say going up against those guys it's gonna be a big matchup. I'm a big corner; those are big receivers. So, but I do think those guys are great. 8 has great ball skills. Um, 11 great ball skills as well. So it's gonna be a time playing with those guys. It's gonna be great competition all around the field, even on the opposite side with
It's gonna
Cam.
be a heck of a game, man.
Yeah,
It's gonna be a good game. I say that.
it's gonna be a good
It's gonna be a
game.
really good game. All right, folks, and that is a wrap for this first podcast, man. I really hope y'all enjoyed it. Trust me, we had a pretty good time in recording this first and many to come podcast. Um, first game is 2 weeks from now, 2 Saturdays from now. So, we'll be back next week to recap on that game and, share some highlights and some insights of how that game turns out to be. But really just hope you guys enjoy this journey with me and Darius. Enjoy this podcast, man. It's really a blessing and honor to be able to do this for you guys.
Later. Remember, you can find this podcast and subscribe on Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. Yup.
That's how you do it.